Okay, I'm going to do another playthrough for one of my judging assignments. So this is Brazoria National by... Oh, I had this up and everything. Andy Mike 8, whose name I don't know. And someone who looks new, I'm assuming it's an Andrew or an Andy. Either way, welcome to the community and looking forward to seeing what you've got. I can see a couple of pictures in there. It looks nice. And yeah, I mean the picture looks the same as this one, so that's all good. So yeah, with these what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through. This is one of the 2 playthroughs I'll do before kind of the first set of cuts, and then potentially we play more of them as we go. I will play 2 random pin sets and give you all my thoughts. Most of those will be I mean, take them all as constructive. It's pointing out things that I see. When I got started seeing these sorts of videos, massively helped me improve. Certainly last year's CC contest and the ones Reeb did are, I would put as very high up in the list of things that got me significantly better. So yeah, but after all of this, it will be posted on YouTube. Please post any comments or get in contact with me if you've got anything. So straight away, I really like the clean look. It's nicely done. I can see a few things, but I like the space you've given actually more than anything. And the hill work looks nice around the hole. There's a few things on the playable surfaces and where you put those that I pick up on, but actually, as first holes go, yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm really liking it. I think you've got a clear vision, you've executed it, and if this is a first course, then it's a damn good start. Framing both sides is really good. Love the clumps of planting and the way you've got the trees. Okay, now I tend to take quite a lot of time on the first few holes because often you will see that basically the same kind of things keep repeating themselves. I like the way you've done tee boxes. I like the way you've placed your light rough, which will seem like a really weird thing to say, but I think the differentiation between this surface and this surface is nice and clean. Definitely going for that. The cart path, perhaps a little bit wavy here, but we can overlook that. I'd like to see the slightly smoother curves going around. I think you can smooth these out a bit more and just get them, I don't know, we've kind of gone straight line, little curve, straight line, little curve. I think we can get it a little, I'm not saying pure sinuous, but yeah. Now, things I'm not such a fan of. I don't like the bunker encased in light rough. I don't really think we do that. I think the fairway shape itself, if we pull up the overhead, there's a few random bumps and humps and kind of ins and outs that don't make a huge amount of sense to me. I do like that you've been consistent with the light rough around the bunkers, but I kind of think with a fairway this wide, if I'm missing the bunker left, I deserve to be in heavy rough. And bunker placement, this one's placed really well. To attack that green, I want to be on the left hand side, definitely put one there. I don't think you need this one, and part of the reason I think you've got it is because you've started your fairway a bit too close to the tee. You've done really well at just letting the hole breathe, and I can see the areas you've planted and how you've planted them. That's brilliant. I think if you'd started your fairway here, which is roughly where I'd have done it, about 200, 180, around there, not by much, but you'd have felt a bit more justification of just leaving this side. I mean, maybe you could have put a third bunker as like deception down here, but this one's doing nothing, and actually when we go up close to it, it's visually okay. I think you'd do better with this one being further down somewhere more over here. Bunker sculpting, I think you're suffering because you don't, on this one particularly, you don't really have your high side and low side as sorted as you do on the one over here. The one over here you've done a good job on. I mean, there's some stuff we can smooth out with the flattening, and you can see the way it's bumped and like, yeah. I think we can do a bit more with that, but you've gone for a high side. I think this will just get better with time. Actually, also putting 2 bunkers up really close to each other is tricky because you have to raise this bit up and then duck it down again, and it's really tough if you're not banked into a pretty big hill to layer bunkers like this. The fairway itself, I don't really feel the options matter all that much, because we're just going to play down the middle and we're going to have a wedge in pretty much regardless. Oh, he says hitting it very fast into the bunker. Oh, that's something. I really like the way you've put the green. The fact that we get this kind of skyline view. I mean, it does help that I'm quite low down in the bunker, but it's good. 90, maybe. Oh, we are on all sorts of tempo fun today. Okay. Like I say, I like the concept of this hole from the outset. I like the way you've guarded one side of the green off the tee. You've angled the green nicely. The green shape is good. Planting you've done well. I actually reckon you can... I'll try and get the camera to move over to here. You can actually make these bushes a lot bigger than you have done, and you'll have more joy, probably. They just work better when you vary the size a little bit more, rather than just kind of... You can see you've clicked at the same rotation the whole time. But it's hardly noticeable. The green, yeah, has interest. It's a good green. I'm really enjoying this one. Safe to say, your first hole, you've got my attention. Hopefully that's kind of... My computer always struggles, just a word of warning, when I'm recording as well as playing. So hopefully it's not too choppy for you. But like at odd points it will just completely stop playing. Again, I'm loving the planting. I'm loving how you've... this atmosphere is brilliant. Let's just keep this going. Yep, completely believe the kind of little barranca ravine you've got. Maybe like a touch more colour in there, but... kind of same comments with the bunkers here. The high side, low side is lacking a little bit. Green size is good. I think the apron starts a little bit too soon. I'd like to see it coming around here a little bit more, probably, and just stopping around here. I mean, if you think your green is that long, the apron's really for trying to roll something on. If I'm chunking I don't know, a 5 iron to 124, I don't really deserve to end up on a fairway. Cart path is done nicely. I just think sightline's really good. I mean, we've been, as judges, we're kind of always hoping that you'll get a course that there are names that we know, and there are people that might surprise us and just like make a really strong start. I'm feeling that this is one of them. I'm loving the mounding going on behind the green as well. I'm going to have a quick look after this and check that you haven't put out other courses and I've missed them. Good par 3. And the green difficulty is pretty much spot on, I think, so far. Let's see, recent threads. Oh yeah, I think you've made a few courses before. It's just a name I didn't recognise. So we've had Griffin Point. Oh, well, either way, it's still nice to have someone who I haven't really seen a lot of before. Isle Black and Adder Dunes. Nice. Well, let's hope this gets some love during the contest then. I think certainly the atmosphere is spot on. Sightlines are good. Yeah, again, I still think you're starting everything a little bit too close to the tee. This fairway, coming a bit too close. We'll come back to the wall. Mounding here's great. We've done a dual water plane trick, and I'm not entirely sure why. Okay, I think I know why. It's to get the... That's pretty well done, actually. Okay. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. What I was going to say, what I've liked so far is these little bridges and things have fitted really nicely. They look great. I know they're just like the one item, I think. I've actually used this one. but they've made sense, and we've had it from here, we've had it from the first, sorry, on the second. Where was the 2? So 1 was there. Where did hole 2 go? Hold on a sec. Let's just check I'm not missing something. Oh, that wasn't 1. That would be why. Okay, so hole 1 was here. There we are. Hole 2 was here. Then we go off, and then hole 3 is here. That's a lot of tee boxes. Am I playing off the back tee, or have you left? Presumably there's potentially one here for a tour version. Okay. I think we're playing, I mean, I'm certain that if you've added another tee there, it's just for potential use at a later date. I think where you've got the tees at the moment for CC is perfect. The fairway I think is a little bumpy in the sense that I don't have a problem with undulating fairways at all, love them. I just think the undulations have to make sense, and I'm not sure some of these dips really fit with the land. I don't know. I think it's really tough to do them well. Maybe I'm being harsh. I don't think it's bad by any means. I just think it's something that you'll get even better with. Hey, we've got a perfect. The plot at the back is looking a little bit bare. I'd like to see a bit more back there. Just like have a full-on tree line there. Like chuck some oaks and elms. The stuff you've done over here, let's block all the... if I come up here, I don't really want to be seeing. I see that you've done some really extensive fence work. Okay, maybe I'll reserve that judgment. No, I take it back. I think this works. It's not. This is a case where it's one of those where it's not how I've done it, but I think you've done it well. Oh my goodness, my computer's getting choppy. Why are we struggling so much? I've got no issue with that. Let's just close a few programs. Getting rid of my million windows on Chrome will probably help. Okay, 221. Yeah, it seems to have helped a little bit. This little runoff, I don't mind. I'd like it to properly drop off here. If it's going to be a runoff, let's have it all going off rather than just potentially leaving us. I don't think it would stay there, but I am properly nitpicking there. I like this false front a lot. The bunkering is my one kind of constant. It's not quite there. I think partly it's you're getting a bit too narrow in places, like this to this is really difficult to sculpt. Partly, the main reason is because you haven't got a massive height differential between the back of the bunker and the front of the bunker. Really, you want about 6 feet or so, which sounds like a lot, but it will work. Par 5 next to the water, I think you've done this really well, so that if I get too greedy, I'm in. I'm also liking the generous light rough cut. Really like a small thing, but I think it makes a lot of sense. This is a great pin. Alright, let's go for it. No. Yeah, left had to be the bailout. Said this on another one though, I think you've gone for very wide light rough, but then the world's tiniest fringe, but not going with zero fringe. I don't really, if you're going to go this small, just get rid of it completely. But I think with the light rough you've got, I'd go for a bigger fringe, would just make a bit more sense to me. It's not a major thing, that's more just it kind of makes you wonder. Oh, come on computer. Well, the result was okay. I really hope I don't have to restart this because I've said so many nice things. The planting around there is fantastic. In fact, let's zoom over. Oh. Yeah, planting planting around here is really nice. I think what you've done well... Actually, this looks a lot better from further away. When you start going up close, the dual water trick doesn't work quite as well. That's not a knock on you, that's a knock on the game. I think what you've done well is you've done simple planting really effectively. You've planted all the right spots, which is tough to do, and you've done it with restraint. Playability has been really good so far. Maybe my only real knock has been the bunkers. I'm not... Oh, okay. Lighting's phenomenal on this hole. Again, the trees on the left look great. The fence on the right's really good. Getting proper English countryside feel, which I don't know if this is where you've set it. I haven't actually read your thread fully. The one thing I would probably change is these little patches of mulch. I don't think they look quite as good in game. I'd have probably just buried a couple of trees underneath it, gone for that that kind of earthy texture that you get up here. When you bury a couple of trees underneath, that goes even more brown and it looks so natural, whereas this looks a little bit fake. But you've done this really well again. The bunkers, yeah, the bunkers and the light rough splined around them are kind of my major things, but that's a great look. I will be going to check out some of your back catalogue. I'm liking the lighting and the clouds as well, like, underrated. Okay, so we've got a long par 5 here. Again, nice runoff here, with a good little chipping area. I like the way you've built that in. I think the strategy to all of these holes, it's not overpowering, as in I'm not dead if I choose a wrong option, but you're giving me choices. Like if I want to lay up here I can, if I want to lay up here I can, and leave a full wedge in looking dead down the green. If I want to go for it I can probably chance it. I mean, everyone loves hitting driver off the deck, don't they? Oh, we got a slow. Shame. Might have even been too far. I really think you've placed your surfaces very thoughtfully. By one, and we've missed a little bit of heavy rough there. That's not a major thing. Yeah, I think with this light rough, if you're going to go with it around the bunkers, let's not go with it literally around the bunkers. I've seen some courses in real life that do it. It's not unrealistic. I just don't think it. For my personal aesthetic taste, I don't think it looks as good. This tee position here is looking dynamite. Loving what you've done with the planting again. I just think this course is really, it's just really well planted. I haven't got very much negative to say at all at the moment. That was just me brushing a putt as per usual. I hope this finds a way on tour somewhere. Oh, after 4 holes, we'll see. Hopefully it keeps up. You've really impressed me so far. Okay, coming back down, lighting, it's always going to look a little less good. I think your bunkers are definitely an issue. It's the same thing, it's just the sculpting inside them. This green's a little bit on the smaller side compared to your previous ones. We'll wait and see what approach we've got in. Okay, so we do have options, but I don't really think either of them needed. I'd probably like to see you push up this bunker another 10 yards. If you're really making me think, and I guess the argument is for pro club users, it's very much in play, but Master Cup guys can just sail over it. I'd have loved to have had a choice of like Do I want to try to carry this all the way out to the right and get the optimum angle in? Or do I want to bail out but then potentially be kind of not blocked out but have to work the ball around the tree? I think that would be a little bit better if we're a bit further forward. And personally I would always rather people designed around master clubs. And that doesn't mean put every hazard at 285, but if you think about what they can clear. I mean, Pro Club users gain the advantage with accuracy, so if you give Master Club users a couple of hazards that they can carry with these, which I guess this is one of them. Maybe I'm talking myself into this one. Green sloping again is well done. This pin looks good. Yeah, I think this green, compared to your others, is just a little small, but I'm not averse to that. Oh, that was a terrible shot. Get lucky. Incorrect. Yeah, I think the greens have had interest, but they've not been unfair, which was kind of a key thing for this contest. Okay, in terms of variety, we had back-to-back par 5s, which is nice. 37 on the way out, 34 on the way back interests me. I'm really intrigued to see how you're going to keep the variety going on the back 9. I don't want to look at yardages too much. I'll wait and see if that surprises me. Yeah, that interests me. And I like that you haven't gone a standard 36-36. And hopefully you've just gone with the holes that you found that fitted the best. Again, another really nice, kind of good looking hole. Sculpting down here seems a little severe. Maybe, but then maybe it fits with the land. I don't know. You've done undulating fairways before, so I'm inclined to buy into it a bit more. I do feel that I'm not being massively challenged off the tee. Like, I'm not saying I'm not being challenged. My challenge is myself and trying to hit straight. But the hazards aren't massively in play for Master Club users. I think that is at this stage a little bit of a knock, because we haven't really had much that's made me either choose a side or really kind of... I've been in one bunker due to a very fast... I don't know, it's a real tightrope to tread in CC. I just think I'd like a little bit more thought off the tee. I think the strategy is there, it's just ramping up that challenge a little bit more. Well, my computer froze just as I was about to hit that part. Great. Shame. Come on, little computer, you can do this. But could I see this? I mean, we've played. That's a really good green site. It's a really good looking hole. I like the fact that it's just in a glade and you've kind of darkened everything out underneath the trees. Maybe like to see a little bit of light coming through there just as contrast. It gets super dark down there. Like maybe a little bit of light coming through here if you could have managed it, but it's probably just... Yeah, I think it's damn near impossible with how you're doing it. But you've kept the green entirely in light, which I like. The bunkers again are like they're there, but they're not... You're not quite nailing the sculpting. This needs to be higher up. You just need to be allowing more space in these bits. I also think the shapes, I can see what you're going for, they're just... They will get there with practice and just a little bit more work looking at what others will do. Yeah, well, hopefully that's kind of a board. Nope. No, it's not. Still light rough, which is nice. The screen's got some interesting breaks to it. A little rise here. I'm not sure if... I don't think it matters, it's not very big. Yeah. As I say, my short game is not my strength. Yeah, good solid hole. So we've had two par 3s. Have both par 3s on the front been about the same length? Or was one, I think 2 was a little bit shorter. They've both been kind of on the longer end, so I'm hoping the ones on the back nine might be a bit shorter. Wavy fairway edges I'm not a huge fan of. At this point, I think I'd like to see you bring something a little different in. We had the water on one hole. I'd like to see a little bit more of that, or something that just breaks it up. I'm really enjoying the round, and I think you want to keep people's playing interest as much as possible, and it's kind of just been hit to fairway, hit to green. I think that and the bunkers would be my major critique so far. I don't think I've loved it. It's looked really nice, playing well. I don't think the challenge is quite there off the tee, and my score is kind of irrespective of that. Right, nice double breaker. I think this is the first green I've not entirely loved, and I'll probably make this comment on just about every video I do. We're kind of ending up with what you might have heard termed as puddling issues, or kind of green puddles or something along those lines forming, which is basically where if you imagine water was running off the green, bear with me for a moment, it's got to run off somewhere in architecture terms, which means that your low point should never be on the middle of the green, and yours is here. Now, obviously, we're playing a video game, so what does it matter? What it really matters is that you're going to have far more putts coming from around this area than you are anywhere else, whereas if you make it so that the ball's kind of not, and we're not talking like Pinehurst number 2 roll-offs everywhere, but if you start making it so that there's no kind of one single point on the green that the ball could just come to rest, you will just notice your greens playing much better, and you'll learn so much more about how to sculpt them. Like I say, I don't think this is bad, this is just the one that hasn't really done it for me so far. Oh wow, I've read that. Ooh, we've got some little houses down there as well. That's a nice touch. I feel like I've just seen a hole next to them, so I think maybe we go back to them later. Okay, I'm now feeling like we're getting a bit samey. We've seen this hole before. This is basically, it's hole 1 but with a different green shape, as in it's got the same setting. It's par 5. I don't know, it feels like we've seen this straight away. Tee shot to very wide fairway. And really, what I do like about this green is that I've gone for the wrong side, and so I've got a much trickier shot. I think that that's a nice subtle way to add a bit of difficulty. I don't think the green sculpting on this one is quite up to your previous ones either. This Nate, I felt beforehand your greens have been really good. I think these last two haven't quite been up there. I've possibly hit that too hard. No, we're okay. I'm just not... I think with that, I'm not sure I ever see a way that unless you really screw up, you're not making par on that hole. Like, with this par 5, you had water in play, Was it this one? No, it was this one. You had water in play, so I could definitely see me making bogey if I get too aggressive. This one, obviously, I made 5. I think that was. Oh yeah, I missed a really easy tap in. So, but that was long, so you gave me an option to lay up, and I can see in wind. I don't really see how I'm not making 4 on most attempts there. I don't know. I'd like a bit more danger in here. I don't really feel. Yeah, 10's kind of the same. I think we're running a little out of ideas at this point. I hope not. Also, this fairway's got an insanely wavy up here. I also don't think it's massively helped you that we've moved away from this barranca a little bit. I appreciate that you haven't used it on every hole, but I think that was a really nice kind of defining feature of this course that really helped it at the start. Again though, I think strategy on this hole was good. If I challenge the bunkers, I have a little bit of a better look into the green. And I like that you've given me a slope here. It's maybe a little bit severe, but I like that you've given me kind of a flat plateau. I'd like that to continue, so that this side was all flat, so that if I do challenge those bunkers, I'm rewarded with flat stance and a dead look into the green, whereas if not, I'm cambering down to here and I've got a worse angle in. But I think the core of the idea is a good one, for sure. We're back to the slightly smaller green. Yeah, green size has been a bit more variable. Not quite. I was anticipating I'd get fast, seeing as we have on pretty much every other shot. Yep, this is all fine. Yeah, I like just my eye being caught by these bits of planting down here, and kind of where you've got the tree line. I think your choice of trees that you've got has been good as well. Okay, we have something different with a big dog leg. And I like that you've angled the fairway diagonally. Still think it's starting a little bit too soon, which is kind of hurting you. Nice tier on there as well. So if we have a little look at this, I think what we're seeing quite a lot as well is that your fairway will start very wide and then bottle down to very narrow. We've got the same here, really wide, and bottling right down in here. Now I'm not saying the fairway it's fine for it to bottle down there, but I think maybe if you give me a bit more space out here, try to keep the general width looking pretty consistent. Particularly given that our landing zone is so wide. Now if I were pinching anywhere, it would be landing zone, and I don't think we've ever really done that. But we're kind of in nitpicky stuff. I like this tee shot. This sculpting feels a touch severe. I don't know. I'm still veering towards the fact that I think the undulations are a little too severe. I like them. This shot's framed really nicely. These bunkers. See, I think these look about as good as you can do. I still think if you take the soft fuzzy brush and dump the front of these bunkers down 3 or 4 feet, cover half the bunker with the brush. If you have that big circle brush going from about there to there, down 3 feet, click, 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 I think you'll notice a world of difference with how this starts looking, and then bump up the back. I mean, your main issue has been these bunkers. I think, but it looks good. It looks a really good tee shot, and it would be intimidating as hell in real life when all I can see is sand. I think I would have preferred that tee shot a bit more though. If let's say we're going to landing distances again. If this tee was back 10 yards here, and so perfect driver gets me over here, but gets me in the bunker here, and a fast maybe just clears me down here, then I think we've got a really good hole, and that is kind of completely gamifying this course. But I think that's kind of what you need to do a little bit more in order to add that playing interest. I don't think this is enough, but no, definitely not. Yeah, I think once you start experimenting with kind of carry distance and what hazards can be carried in what conditions, things like that, I think this will kind of improve your whole designs now. And no, it was never hard enough. Still enjoying my round a lot, and although I think the greens have been your best source of defence, really. As in, they haven't been tricked up, but they haven't been completely easy in that if I hit it to within 20 feet, I'm making the putt every time. I'm glad we're bringing the water back. And I like this, I like the hills on the right hand side. It's such a shame this dual water plane trick doesn't quite work a little bit better. I think it's to do with, I think you can make it work a little bit better. It's to do with how low you place the second water plane under the other one. So if you go just a little bit, I don't know, it requires a lot of fiddling around. It looks fine from here, it just doesn't look great from here. I don't really think there's that much you can do about it, so I'm certainly not docking points or anything for it. I like this tee shot a lot. I like the way that you've let me see the water in the distance. Trees dragging my eye down. Yeah, this is really good. I think we're still kind of seeing the same things with the fairway shape, where it starts, the hazarding, etc. But yeah. And it's a long hole, so actually this one you didn't need to put in as many hazards. The hazard is the distance. Oh, we found some tempo. My goodness. Go on, turn back in for me. Ah. Oh. Tried. Yeah, good hole, and a good point actually for a longer par 4. I like the way you did it as well, with no real, like the challenge just being where the green was, and I think you've probably got some better pins on that that will make it even more tricky. Okay, then we follow up with the water again. I'll hold that thought. Okay, stroke index 18, so presumably this one, yeah, at that distance this is drivable, which is again a good time. I think you've got the flow really well. Straight off the back of the drive, long par 4. Oh, here goes nothing. Now we have an eagle putt. Yeah, same comments persist over bunkering. I love the view back across here. Again, I really like the space you've given this entire course. It's just got a really nice, calm feel to it. Maybe somewhere here? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. Oh, and then you push the putt massively, so it doesn't bloody matter. That was a good line, if not. Okay, I'm interested to see what the next hole brings. 137 par 3. I wondered when you'd come with the short par 3. One of the things I think I might have done on this course, and there's not many I'd have changed, I think with that last 2 holes, you've just used the water twice in a row, which I was saying earlier, I really wish you brought it back in earlier. I'd have liked to have seen maybe if you could manage this, and maybe you couldn't, but let's just space that water out a little bit. So maybe water here, then your path, short path 3, then we go to the drive ball one. So it's kind of coming in and out a little bit more in the round. Because if you think about it, we had this on, was it hole 4, I want to say, or 3? I think it was 3, because we had 3 and 4 with the back-to-back par 5s. So we had water on 3, and then we've just had it on 12 and 13, and then we're done. If we could have spaced that water in and around the round a little bit more, and kind of, just as a calling card, remind me of it a couple of times. Good little short par 3. I like the way the green's kind of benched in. That's a really good green site. I've not got the hang of these greens all day. Don't want to get too aggressive with this one coming from above the hole. Yeah, slight push again. Okay, long par 4 again. Completely bunkerless. Fairway, the waviness, I just think have one smooth line here, have one smooth line here. This bit's not in play, this bit's not in play. I do like that you've given me this area, and presumably there's a big runoff feeding down there. Sculpting maybe a little harsh there. Oh, this pin. I like it. I mean, the sightline is good. We're looking straight down the chute. Okay. I mean, we know what this is going to do. That. No, you know what? The sculpting's good. Sculpting's absolutely fine. Thought I might go fast. That's alright. So now we've got... But I like that that swale comes in as a really good hazard. And that'll be something that I really remember about the course. Just, you want each hole to have a little bit of a signature. So this one won't be the long par 4, this one will be the one with the swale in the green. The previous long par 4 will be the one where you were hitting towards the lake. I think there's been... The one thing I probably want to change is I felt there's not been enough holes with those kind of hooks in them. The overall atmosphere's been really nice, it's been a really peaceful round, it's been good. I've enjoyed it a lot. But I think that would be the one thing I'd be looking at changing. Just kind of, can you give me some more properly memorable moments? That's not to say there haven't been any, it's just I think we can do more of them. Okay, there are bits of this hole I don't get. I get the strategy, you can play out here and you have a full wedge in but you're going across the green, I like that. And you get kind of a better and better reward. I don't understand why this bit of fairway's here. Or it kind of curves around here. I think this... One of these two appendages should go. I'd probably be tempted to do kind of a half and half and come around there. And just lower this hill. Let's have a look. If I was hitting driver... Let's play it as most people will play it. And we get fast. Let's see what happens. Probably bouncing into the fairway. Okay, but it's not an easy. It's not an easy flop. Got the fast. Okay. I like the design of this hole. I think it could be. I think it could be a little bit cleaner. Just in terms of your fairway shapes, I think you can cut those a little bit more neatly. I think I get why this bit of planting's here, I don't really get why the hill is there, I don't get why the fairway's going around that bit. Probably tweak that, but the hole itself is really solid. think that would be my keyword for this course. It's been solid the whole way through. Okay, what have we got next? Par 3, par 4. Par 3, 175 yards. I like the bunker at the back. I think you've done that well. I'd be willing to bet it still could be raised up more, but it looks good from the tee. I'm going to have a quick look at the scorecard, because I looked at it earlier and I caught something out the corner of one eye. Okay. So we've got 4 tees. Cool. Works. Yeah, so these 2 par 3s may be a little similar in length. One of the things I'll always look to is par 3s. I think if we could take one of those down to, well, you've got 175, 137. They're probably okay. I don't know. I think on a course like this, if you've got 2 longer par 3s, maybe try to space them out a bit. The back 9 though, I mean, could it have used a par 5? Yeah, I think it could have done. I think around the 10, 11, 12 spot. Was 12 the one where it opened out onto the water? I think it did. Yeah, because then we had 13 and we had 14. 10, 11, I got a little bit of a samey vibe. But we've just had really short 4. We've had the one with the swale. I mean, I can go back and I think I can remember most holes. I don't... yeah, I do think you could have used a par 5 on the back 9 though. This is a great looking hole. I'd say this is, like when I was talking about postcard holes or like your standout moment holes, yeah, we've seen this sort of idea before, but it's executed really well. Into a back bunker. And you know what, it's exactly the sort of hole that when you had this property and you saw that lake, you'd be like, well yeah, obviously we're putting one there. Well, thank you game for stalling on me. Okay, we've got a putt to make, which we almost certainly won't, but we'll try. No. Shame. Yeah. That's just a bad flop shot out of the bunker. That's fine. And then 18, we've got another longer 4. I'm trying to think, did we have a long 4 on the front 9? I feel like we've had 3 longer 4s on the back, which, admittedly, you kind of had to. And this is a great closer. This one will stick with me as well. Again, not sure on this bit of fairway. Doesn't make sense. I think either you've wrapped it around this bunker here. Why not do the same here and just give me a bit more? I get that it would look weird though. Still, I just think you take this bit out. If people miss long left, they're in heavy rough. Just deal with it. But yeah, another really good sightline. A little bit of a road element off the tee shot. Oh, we can absolutely bomb it down there. That's a fun closing tee shot, and it's a really good look into your myriad clubhouses. Have a little look at this. Yeah, I like how you've done it. A little putting green. Couple of cars in the clubhouse, car park, that's always nice, matters. Driving range. Putting green with flags. Yeah. What have we got over here? Oh, we've got a par 3 course as well. That's cool. Can you see it from anywhere? Oh, you can see it from here. That's fun. Let's not go that way. There we are. Okay, we need to be hitting a wedge in. A little bit of loft. Oh, Well, there's a sort of shot I want to close out with. It's a really good closing hole. Okay, let me just load up the categories and I'll talk you through those a little as well. Okay, so finished up -4s, just have a look at distances and load those up because I don't want to tie anything in with how I've shot. 1 second, just get the categories up. So, Brazoria National. Playability and shot values, i.e. basically how did it play, how many shots was I forced or encouraged to play, were there a variety of options, etc. I think it was middling here. I think this is probably your section where I'd want you to improve a little bit more, challenge me more off the tee. I think the angles and options were there on certain holes, but I think for a Master Club user it just kind of took a lot of those hazards out of play. I'm thinking of one hole on the front nine where there was a diagonal bunker that I said should be 10 yards further on. I want to say it was on 5, but I'm not sure. I think par 3s were all at good distances. I'd have liked 1-5 on the back 9 and probably have swapped one of these two. I think that would have made it a better course. Because I think it's fine going no 5s on 1-9, but back to back on the other. I think they've got to be really special to do that. Yeah, the fairways were very wide, which was good, but it puts a premium on approach play and putting, which is also fine. Like I said, I think we could have been challenged a bit more off the tee. Technical execution, generally pretty good. There's a few things. Sculpting, the bunkers are the main issue, I think, from that point of view. Was there anything else? But there was some cool stuff. I like the dual water plane trick. I really like the planting, although that comes more into aesthetics and environment, which we're coming on to next. Technical stuff. Greens were done really well. I thought there were a couple I wasn't such a fan of, but I think for the most part they got the difficulty right. I guess that comes into the playability and shot values. I think the difficulty was on the easy side, but it was about right. So, yeah, I mean, I've got mixed feelings on the playability one. Aesthetics and environment, awesome. I think really liked it for the most part. It kind of went away a little bit. There were too many holes, kind of like that 10th, where it was just straight and there were some trees and there wasn't a whole lot to look at. But your starting stretch I thought was fantastic. 1, 2 and 3, bottle that, it's great. The environment I completely believed, the ravines and stuff you brought in early, well done. If you've got a big feature, bring it in early. Yeah, and there was never any point where I felt anything completely leaped out of me, and I just didn't. I was relaxed playing the round. I just got a really nice feel for it. It's the sort of course I would like to play on tour. Routing, flow, cohesion, variety of holes. Kind of talked through a lot of this. I think you did really well with your back 9 in terms of making it as varied as you did for the pars you had. But I think in that lies a flaw in that you gave yourself these pars, and you'd be looking to go, well, if I've only got 2 3s and the rest of them are 4s, I'm going to have to do something spectacular with the 4s, or work a par 5 in there somewhere. I liked what you did with the drivable 4. I liked what you did with the one close to the water. I think it was 16. Really liked 17. I think that's your best hole. In fact, 17 and 18 are a great closing stretch. 16 was close and not quite. Had the little swale in 15. I mean, most of the holes have some memorable aspect in them. They just weren't necessarily a wow aspect in the way that I think you'd have needed it going with these pars. Yeah, so I think those are my main things. Additionally, in the aesthetics, probably that light rough around the bunkers, I would have probably changed that. And the extras were really nice as well. So I hope that helps. If, when all is said and done, there are some of these comments that you'd like a little bit more clarification on, I will be going back and playing another pin, so don't worry about that. But please do get in contact, either on the forums or just pop me a message via YouTube where this will be loaded up. Really happy to talk you through any further thoughts, or yeah, just hear what you got to say. But keep designing. This was really enjoyable. And I hope it does well for you. Okay, I'm going to cut the stream there, and yeah, thank you for watching.